So the news came out yesterday. Vijay Shekhar Sharma is now officially the biggest shareholder in PayTM, and that's because Antfin, which is a Netherlands-based investor, Vijay Shekhar Sharma is planning to buy over 13% of Antfin's stake in 197 Communications, the holding company of PayTM. With that, Ant Financial stake will be reduced to about 13.5%, and Vijay Shekhar Sharma's holding goes up to 19.42%, making him the largest shareholder. This is going to be a non-cash deal that's going to take place. We saw a bit of a run-up in that stock yesterday, but the stock is trading down this morning. Gaurang, PayTM down this morning in the red.
So, yesterday we saw that bump up because of the news announcement of Mr. Vijay Shekhar Sharma buying into this particular stock. And we all know the very short-lived history of these unicorns, new age technologies, stocks, the way the valuation was, the way it got listed, and then we saw a downfall. As a disclosure, 197 Communication, that is PayTM, we do have a coverage over there, but the stock has run up to a great extent. So if you have bought it at lower level, you can continue to hold. I think this correction that you're seeing this morning, KrishnaKumar, is purely because of the news flow. And in the market, there's a good old saying, buy on news and sell on rumors. Buy on rumors and sell on news.
Buy on rumors, sell on news. Gaurang, stay with us. So we have my colleague and good friend Kartik Malhotra also now joining us in the studio. Kartik, thank you for taking time out this morning. Morning, good morning. So much talk around PayTM. Are you invested in PayTM? Any full disclosure?
I haven't invested in stocks ever directly. I've been covering stocks for a while, and it's always great to listen to our friends Gaurang and other market commentators, but I don't do stocks directly. But yeah, PayTM I think overall is a fairly interesting story. It is yet to turn profitable, and I think the talks in the street are that it is about to turn the corner. It is going to walk into that profitability lane very soon. But interestingly, Ant Financials, a Chinese investor, exiting part of its stake in PayTM, making Vijay Shekhar Sharma and his holding company the largest stakeholder, almost 20%. It's also a signal of Chinese companies not continuing to invest in India. Indian government would be happy that there is some sort of an exit of their investments in Indian startups. But overall, I don't know what mood and what precedent this sets. So maybe Gaurang can help us understand. Gaurang, Chinese investment firms not really wanting to continue to stay invested in India. I think at some level, of course, there is nationalism, there is jingoism in play, and we should be proud of the fact that we can raise our own money and we can buy back the stake that we perhaps deserve on our companies. But is it good economic sense to not let other companies invest in our startups?
So, there are a couple of things that have happened in the recent times, including some news items of how these Chinese companies operate in India. And I am, and I will always be a believer that we have our own set of graces to think, path out our growth trajectory, and perform. We don't need to live on borrowed graces, that is, borrowed brains. Unfortunately, we've been doing it for quite some time. I hope we grow out of that particular nutshell. Having said that, I think it is purely a question of credibility, ethics, compliance. And with the kind of recent news flows that we've been reading, it's rather disturbing. So I think it would be prudent to have lesser exposure or dominance of any Chinese entity or companies directly or indirectly getting into a larger kind of, or whatever percentage of stake would it be, in entities which are operating in very sensitive and a fragile environment. So I think, and of course, the government policies are also building up, which may possibly, throw in a little bit of more difficult times for any external, especially Chinese entities, to come and play an active role over here.
Okay, right. And Gaurang, also PwC resigning from the board of PayTM Payments Bank. And of course, I mean, it's one of the subsidiaries of 197 Communication itself. But overall, with the payments bank license still not through, and the RBI telling PayTM Payments Bank to not onboard any new customers, what does this tell us largely about the overall payment banking system and the PayTM stock in particular?
So I think first of all, any kind of payment interface with this kind of a large presence, you need to have. And we did not anticipate that we could grow to this extent as far as payment interfaces are concerned. And we have absolutely done that, and we've set all sorts of record. And there are countries which want to come and possibly join the bandwagon that India has already boarded onto. But what we miss out over here is regulations and policies. I think that's where the government is now concentrating on. As far as the resignation of auditors are concerned, well, I don't have much knowledge or information on that. But if I mean, and I hope that there are enough disclosures being made as to why the auditor had to possibly resign. What are those reasons, and what are those issues that made them to take this particular step? But more than that, I don't think I would be able to contribute. I hope there is clarity, and like I said, the government should make the entire environment so safe and fortress kind of an environment that it's very difficult to penetrate into this.
All right. Watching this conversation between you and Gaurang, I'm making an analogy. It's like, whether somebody should buy an MG car today in India or not. Yeah, it's the same analogy. Like, you want to associate, do you want to have exposure to a Chinese company? Because although MG Motors is Morrison Garage, a British company, a British brand, it's owned by China's largest automobile maker, SAIC. So the same questions to anybody out there in the market to buy cars, should you buy MG? Is the same debate that you have about investing in stocks with the exposure to China and a Chinese company.